Welcome, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to my live stream. Man, I'm getting destroyed by the bugs in here. A bunch of bugs got in, and wow, I mean, these things are a fucking nightmare. I mean, a fucking nightmare. Where's everybody at? Ah. Yep, it's a crazy world, man. It's a circus clown show. You got you got Trump trying to pass this fucking crazy fucking bill that absolutely just takes everything, all the safety nets away from people that are suffering, and given all the tax breaks to the same rich 1% asshole billionaires and corporations. I mean, there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing. They do the same thing again and again, and that's why we're here now. Is because of these fucking pedophile politicians, man. Okay, and then the Democrats pretend that they actually care. Elon pretends he actually cares. It's all bullshit. They just want power. They just want subsidies. By the way, Elon Musk have never made a single penny on his own. Everything he got was given to him like the parasite he is. All of it was subsidies, okay? Because his father, it's all in the family. Because of his father was a very important technocrat before him. And so he's just following his father's footsteps. It's simple as that. It's all in the family all the time with all these politicians and all these agents and characters. It's all the same bullshit. It's never going to change until you get rid of these pedophiles in government. Get rid of all the government bullshit. You got to get rid of all the government bullshit. And that's it. It's as simple as that. Trump's coming for naturalized citizens now. And then you got California, this group of fucking pedophile politicians just constantly extorting the fucking public and people every day, coming up with new laws and new taxes and extortion every day. All taxation is theft. A group of pedophile strangers never ever has the right to make laws for you and tax you. Okay? Okay? This is the simplest thing to understand. But everybody's mentally ill under mind control, spells. I don't get it. They're so mentally ill here. It's the simplest thing. Nobody who has an intelligent mind and brain would ever let a stranger tell them what to do. Ever. In any capacity. Not a free grown adult, knowing that they're free and they're no different and better than them. They can have never, ever tell you what to do. But the public has a slave mindset mentality where they love to be told what to do by strangers. They accept it freely. They accept it freely. I'm too dumb to think for myself. You make rules for me. You extort me. You tell me what to do. I'm a slave. I'll obey you. See, smart people will never obey just another person. They're no different than you. They have no right or authority ever to fucking make rules for you. And I'm losing my voice again because I've been talking so much. And now they're And now they're like, instead of building houses for the homeless, they're building fucking prisons and funding ICE, Gestapo, Nazi, pedophile cops and prisons. Alcatraz. What more proof do you need to understand that these motherfuckers, Trump, all of the politicians, Republicans, Democrats, everybody in government is merely a psychopath that should be dead for trying to even make rules for you? I mean, think about it. Instead of helping out the homeless and the people, they're always building up ways to imprison and make more money. They never ever help the people. They give the money to other countries and the military industrial complex, big pharma complex. They always have billions of dollars to make prisons and give to the fucking pedophile police. But they never ever 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 give you back your own hard-earned money. Ever. Never. Not one fucking time will they. And if they do, it's a slap in the face. An insult. You might as well keep it. It's bizarre that we live in a world where the public is so domesticated and docile and dumbed down that they allow a gang, just a gang that fight, two gangs that fight for power to tell you what to do. Republicans and Democrats are two different gangs in the same gang government. The House always wins, no matter who you vote for. They always steal money from you, extort you, make more laws and rules, arbitrary rules that extort you even more. I've lived here almost 55 years, and it doesn't matter who the fucking pedophile president is. It doesn't matter, ever. They always destroy the public and the world and their constituents. Always. Bar fucking none. I'm looking for that guy. Where'd that fucking video go? Now, California's even doing this mega mansion tax now. I mean, it goes on and on. They're trying to fucking come with new ways and always nonstop to extort their constituents. Hold on, I'm going to have to... I thought I saved the link. God damn, I don't get it. I know I saved the fucking link, man. I know I saved the link and I can't find it. Again, it's always the same. They should call this the Murder the People Bill. Murder the People Bill. That's what they should call it. Or the Big Gnarly Bill. Or the Coddle to the 1% Bill. Or the Coddle to the 1% and Corporations Bill. Coddle to the fucking rich pedophile bill. I mean, that's what they should fucking call this shit. What do I mean by that? I'll show you. Let's see. God, this guy makes a million fucking videos. You can't even find it now. God damn, these fuckers are crazy, dude. These fuckers make a lot of videos. These fucking retards, the Democrats, that Kyle guy, Midas Touch guy, these fucking freaks are nuts. They're all propagandist agents for Democrats. Like, I can't even fucking find it now. Come on, man. Come on. fucking so annoyed right now. I don't know why I can't find it. These fucking retards make so many videos. I can't even find the one where he's bashing Trump. Oh my God, I'm so annoyed. Come on. Oh, that's one way to do it. Oh, there it is. Shut up. Shut up. I fucking pause it and it still goddamn plays it. Fuck. 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 Yeah, what's up, Don? And another perspective. I really don't understand it. It's the simplest fucking thing. I can't go around making rules for you and taxing you. So who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? It makes no sense, dude. It's the easiest goddamn fucking thing of all time. Look, it's a bad dream. The mental illness here is bizarre with the public. I don't. They're like little children with the IQ of a fucking fart. It's goddamn insane. It is goddamn insane. See, fucking stream retard. You got to be the dumbest assholes at StreamYard. I swear, if I ever find anybody that works for StreamYard, I'm just gonna bash their teeth out. I swear, I swear, I'm gonna fucking kill them. They're so fucking dumb. These idiots at StreamYard. How can you be this dumb?
Donald Trump's sick and twisted secret dark past is resurfacing, and we here at the Midas Touch Network are not going to get distracted. I think,
again, this idiot retard propagandist, he absolutely kills it and nails it when it comes to bashing Trump and the Republicans and government in general. But he can't see that his side is the same exact thing. It's just two different sides of the same fucking coin. It's just a left wing and a right wing, and he can't understand that it's the same bird. He can't understand that he's on a left wing and a right wing, but he can't understand it's the same bird. This is how dumb these people are. It's bizarre because they seem like they're smart. They do. They really do. I like this guy. I don't know why, but I like the guy. He's very likable. But he's absolutely batshit retarded because he doesn't see that his party is the same thing. It does everything that he complains about. Everything he complains about the Republicans, the Democrats do it too. It's just insane. He even calls Fox state-sponsored media. But what is CNN? The same thing. They're playing with you, idiot. They own them both. Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street is a monopoly. They own everything. So they put you two together and you fight, and you're too dumb to see it. Maybe because you're too busy fighting Republicans that you can't see that you're the same thing. Again, this guy is absolutely correct when it comes to his complaints about the Republicans. But all the Republicans are correct when it comes to the exact same complaints of the Democrats. But yet, P-Brain over here is too dumb to realize it. It's bizarre. It is fucking weird. I get it. I know I'm in a bad dream. I know I'm in a nightmare right now. I know I am.
One of the main
Can
things.
you guys hear me, see me? Let me check in before I go into this shit because I make a fool of myself. I'm good at that. I'm real good at making a fool of myself. It's hard enough as it is. Everybody else trying to make a fool of me. Can you guys hear and see me okay? Can I get a 5 in the room or some whatever? I'm kidding. I can't do that. Can you hear me? Yes or no? Gaga goo goo. Nobody answered. Fuck it. I'm playing it anyway. I don't know why nobody answers, but if you can't hear it, good. Thank you. Another perspective.
Things that Trump has trying to distract from over the past few weeks has been the Epstein files and the fact that Donald Trump is all over the Epstein files. Now, MAGA Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert just sat for a very bizarre and odd interview on a number of topics where she was also saying, Congress sucks. We suck in Congress. Very strange. But then she did mention, and we really do need to get to the bottom of the Epstein files. It's hard for me to say this, but I agree with Lauren Boebert there. I'll show you that clip in a minute so you can see for yourself. But let me explain to you what we know for sure. The Epstein files that have been released have Donald Trump's name on them. Donald Trump is in the deposition testimony of sex trafficking victims of Epstein.
You will never get an actual unredacted Epstein list of who Ghislaine Maxwell was delivering these children to. You'll never do that because the people that run this country, nobody should be running anything. Nobody should have power over you. Nobody should have power over you. You're free. But you're too dumb to figure it out, you out there in the public. And you'll never, because why would they ever expose their own criminality? It's like asking the police department to investigate themselves. Hey, you think a bunch of pedophiles are going to investigate their own pedophilia? I mean, give me a break. You got to get smarter, people. You really have to goddamn move up into the higher vibrations of yourself and get out of the low vibrations, the way down in the root chakra, and come up into the higher mind area, higher vibrations, and get your energy and intelligence and information from our higher mind.
Who have testified under oath in depositions that Epstein brought them to Trump's casinos. A 14-year-old girl testified at the Ghislaine Maxwell sex trafficking criminal trial that when she was 14,
let's not get it twisted. Trump is a convicted felon, and he was also found civilly for rape. Found guilty for rapes on the civil side or whatever. Had to pay out or something. Absolutely. It's on.
Woman now, but she said that when she was
you're all, the country is led by a rapist, pedophile.
14-year-old.
You're all ruled by pedophiles. It's pathetic, you out there in the public.
Girl. She was brought to Mar-a-Lago by Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. We know that Virginia Giuffre.
Can you imagine? Anyway.
Who recently died by suicide in Australia when she was a girl, when she was underage. She was working at Mar-a-Lago. She was previously homeless, got a job somehow at Mar-a-Lago, I think through a connection, a family connection or something. And then Ghislaine Maxwell, who would scout the girls for Epstein, went to Mar-a-Lago. She was friends with Donald Trump, brought Virginia Giuffre to Epstein.
And by the way, Trump loves Epstein. He even says he likes young girls too. He likes them on the young side, young girls. No shit, pedophiles.
And then Epstein started sex trafficking Virginia Giuffre. I mean, using Mar-a-Lago as the hunting grounds for underage victims. In the case of Virginia Giuffre, there's videos of Donald Trump partying with Epstein. Trump is on Epstein's phone log. He's on Epstein's call log. He's on Epstein's flight log. Epstein's been on Trump's plane before. Trump is quoted as saying Epstein is a great guy who likes women on the younger side. I think Trump was referring to girls. Donald Trump would throw beauty pageants for girls, teenagers, for girls. He would then hold boat parties where it was reported that the girls would grind on men old enough to be their grandparents, who would say, look what the girls that we got, look at the girls that we got. Really sick and disgusting stuff right there. Trump hosted the Look of the Year competition for these little girls. It's just so disturbing to even, see these things. Trump would have his kids hang out with Epstein. I could keep going on. That's what we know exists. That's out there in the public domain, right? There's the fact that there's a whole other batch of files, like, for example, the Doe 174 files, Trump's Doe 174 in some of these Epstein cases. If we wanted to find out what Trump did, a document request would say release the Doe 174 files. I want to know all of the communications about that. Show me the grand jury testimony of the 14-year-old girl who testified at the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. There's going to be a ton of evidence there that links Trump to Epstein, because there already is a ton of evidence out there that links Trump to Epstein. Now, I'm sure you remember that Trump and the MAGA crew promised us that they were going to release the Epstein files. Remember, they had a whole committee. Anna Paulina Luna was the MAGA Republican congresswoman. She promised us in early February we were going to get the Epstein files. Remember, then she posted on February 27, 2025, I nor the task force were given or reviewed the Epstein documents being released today. A New York Post story just revealed that the documents will simply be Epstein's phone book. This is not what we or the American people asked for, and it's a complete disappointment. Get us the information that we asked for. That's when, back in February, remember they pulled the stunt where they had the right-wing influencers hold up the binder and say, this is the Epstein files. We got it. As though the Trump White House thought we, the people, would be so stupid to think this tiny binder is the Epstein files. No, it was the phone log that was released many, many years ago that, by the way, has Donald Trump's name in it over and over and over again. I could tell you where some of the Epstein files are. It's not hard. Vault.fbi.gov. The Epstein files are there. All these files are redacted. So it would actually be very easy to unredact these files. Just remove the redactions. I already know where they are. Vault.fbi.gov. And there's going to be tens of thousands of documents in these civil cases and the criminal cases.
There you go. You got your guilty FBI who did the who got caught setting up that patsy and tried to blame him when they bombed the World Trade Center in 1993. FBI got busted. They got busted killing JFK. They get busted all the time doing all these fake gun fucking shootings. I mean, dude, it's ridiculous how guilty these fuckers are, but yet they never get in trouble because they're the ones in charge. And no matter how many times they get caught, they never get in trouble, ever. And then these retards that he doesn't even understand. I know where it is. The FBI has it. Well, then why don't you understand that they're all complicit in obstructing justice and protecting pedophiles? I mean, takes a pedophile to protect a pedophile.
Lane, Jeffrey Epstein, and all of that. Release those.
Only pedophiles would protect pedophiles. Nobody in their right mind would allow this.
Files. Okay. So with that as background, here is what Lauren Boebert just said on a show that she did during an interview on Blaze TV's Prime Time with Alex Stein. Representative Lauren Boebert expressed support for releasing the full list of names tied to Jeffrey Epstein's network. But then she says, those files may have been tampered with. Here's what she says. Let's play the clip.
But now we talk about government transparency, this and that. Everybody's been getting mad about the Epstein stuff. I'm kind of the opinion, what are we going to see? Like actual physical sexual assault? We're not going to see that. I don't want to see that. what is there to see? That's what I'm saying. Like, what is there really even to see? That's where I'm kind of feel like we already know.
Anything anybody wants to see is the list. We want to see the list, period. I don't care what names are on it. I want to see what names are on it and why. So it's not a bipartisan issue. It is a bipartisan issue. And so I want to see what these folks were doing with Epstein. And I don't know. I mean, maybe the past administration has done away with the files, or maybe there's thousands and thousands of hours of video that they're going through, like we have heard as well. I certainly want these released. President Trump has done a great job of declassifying certain information, but also where has this information been in decades? Like through what hands has this information gone through when it comes to Martin Luther King Jr., when it comes to RFK and JFK. So there's still the element of, yes, we have a government that we should always question, right?
Yeah.
I'm a part of this system and I question it daily, even within my own party. There's things that we are doing. I mean, look at the House of Representatives. We are a majority rule self-governing body. That means
if you had half a brain, you wouldn't be a Democrat or a Republican. You wouldn't be part of this fucking pedophile gang, idiot. Trying to make you, again, you're in a cult that believes that you have authority to tell your fellow man what to do and steal their money. And if they don't obey you, you can punish them. That's the cult you're in, biatch.
Whatever party is in the majority, we make up the rules. Mm-hmm. In fact, every day, if anybody watches C-SPAN on a regular session day when we're passing legislation, every day we actually change the rules of the House of Representatives to pass the bill that we're going to vote on. So just to bring that bill to the floor, we have a vote on the rule because we're changing the rules. And so in all of this, it's fluid, and you should always question what is going on and seek truth. Now, that doesn't mean to be a crazy conspiracist and say that there's like something behind every single door, but I don't trust the hands that this information has gone through over decades when you're talking about all these declassified files now that have been classified, or even the Epstein files. You never know what has been removed or potentially even added. And so it's really difficult to find the absolute truth when there's been so many years of darkness that this information has been hidden in.
I know it is a complicated situation, and I think any transparency is good, but this is a very sensitive stuff, so it's not going to just be like, oh, here's 1,000 images of whatever you guys want to see. So I'm hoping.
Right, I don't think anybody wants to see that.
Yeah, exactly, and that's not what we expect. But
when you have Lauren Boebert and Jasmine Crockett agreeing on issues, we've reached a bipartisan moment here. And here, Jasmine Crockett pointed out, when was this 2 weeks ago? The Lauren Boebert thing just happened. Lauren Boebert just happened. Jasmine Crockett said on, I think this is June 12th. You all realize that Trump's doing a lot of this crap to distract from the Epstein files. Like, he's terrified. Like, he knows his name's all over this thing. Here, play this clip.
To that, I know that there's been some conversations about what's going on in LA, and they want to say that it's riots because they didn't want people to keep talking about, say, the Epstein files or whatever other drama was popping off between the president and his little friend. So they wanted to change the conversation to immigration because they feel like, well, the polling is in our benefit. But let me tell you something. If they cared about making sure we were going to be fiscally responsible, they would tell the American people that it cost them $134 million to send the National Guard to LA for the quote unquote riots that the governor didn't ask for, nor did the mayor of LA ask for. And they sent them over there, and they say that they care about our service members, yet they sent them and they were laying on the floor. They did not provide for food. So I don't know why we would believe that, number one, they want to fix this. They don't want to fix this, because the brokenness is a feature, not a flaw of the system, because it is beneficial to them when it comes to campaigning. If they can't stoke fear, then why are they going to have anybody vote for them? Because that's what people are doing. They're voting out of fear. But
I'll just show you. Here's the video of Donald Trump with Epstein partying. Here's a 1992 party footage of them together. You can see for yourself. Play this clip.
We're going to get great ratings in your show.
Trump is surrounded by women as music blares in the background. After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests. Among them, the financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Goddamn.
A decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and pointing out women to Epstein and the other man and telling Epstein about the cameras.
Like, are those eyebrows for real? Like, are those real or what? This is crazy.
Exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women and their appearances. Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, "Look at her back there. She's hot." And then Trump says something else into Epstein's ear that makes him double over with laughter. But as the president says now, he never liked Epstein.
Remember 3 months ago, this was Pam Bondi saying, "Oh, I have it on my desk. We're going to release it." Here, play this clip.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president. Not yet.
I was briefed on that yesterday. I can't talk about that publicly, but President Trump has given a very strong directive, and that's going to be followed.
Wow. Okay. So
a lot of documents.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So people can expect actual movement on this.
And then they insult you by giving you a bunch of fucking papers with black ink that you can't read, and you're supposed to buy it. Here, child. Here, child. There it is, child. You're all children of the corn. I told you that you're all treated like little children by children. You let children run you, you're going to be treated like children.
Empty promises.
Oh, Donald Trump.
Slave mentality. You're in a cult. You believe that your fellow man, a stranger, can extort you and make arbitrary rules for you that make it impossible for you to survive while they absorb the entire wealth, and while they wealth transfer all your money to the 1% of the 1%. And most of people are none the wiser. They blame the economy when it's the corporations that all raise the prices. It's the corporations. They all blame the wrong thing all the time. It's the corporations and the government colluding, conspiring. Oh, that's crazy. It's crazy. These conspiracy theorists are crazy to think that rich people would get together and want to and conspire to be richer. That's crazy. You're mentally fucking ill, people. You're mentally fucking ill. You're part of a cult that believes a stranger can just make arbitrary rules for you that make it impossible for you to survive and can just tax and extort you at their free will. Excuse me.
Trump doesn't make empty promises.
Yeah, right.
I think promises made, promises kept.
And then the MAGA ecosystem, they're already having their excuses, right, about where the Epstein files are. You have Sean Hannity spending, a very long time defending Trump on Epstein. Play this clip.
And it got personal. Elon Musk claiming, oh, Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Well, it's been well known that Donald...
Sean Hannity, dude, that fucking pedophile's been fucking doing this shit for decades. He's a lifer pedophile politician. He has a career in politics and in the news. And I don't know. He's as a propagandist, right-wing propagandist for decades.
Trump said
they're all in the same clubs, man. It's bizarre that the people are this goddamn dumb, but I get it, man. They're too busy trying to survive, and they're basically retarded because they got raised and indoctrinated by the enemy.
That Elon was angry over Trump's decision to end the electric vehicle mandate. I can certainly understand why Elon wants that in the one big beautiful bill. Pretty obvious.
Elon is a parasite. Why don't I get a subsidy? Why don't you get a subsidy? Why does that pedophile get a subsidy, that crackhead, that fucking drug addict, Elon? Why does he get all the subsidies and no one else? Why does that crackhead get the subsidies and you don't? I want subsidies. Why don't you give me millions of dollars, you fucking pedophile motherfuckers? I'll chop your fucking head off if I can get my hands on you, fucking pedophiles.
It's pretty apparent, understandable difference. And on the Epstein issue, wasn't it Donald Trump? He booted Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago nearly 20 years ago because he was one of the first people to realize just how horrible Epstein really was. And by all accounts, he was kicked out because of his treatment of young women. Now, Democrats and the media.
Wait, I can't see Trump's faces. I can't see his face. Epstein's balls are all over it.
I'm just thinking out loud here. I'm just wondering, putting two and two together. I truly wonder if our old friend Bill Clinton, how you doing? Good to talk to you. We know he had a relationship with Epstein. That's been reported on. Is he in is Bill Clinton, is he in those files also?
Fuck yeah,
I can't say for sure. I haven't seen them, but if I was a betting man, I know where I'd put my money. Now, if by some, chance that Bill Clinton is in there, I wonder if he kicked Epstein out of his life as publicly as Donald Trump did. I guess if Donald Trump felt that Epstein had something on him, he probably wouldn't have kicked him out of his club. Inquiring minds, I think they'll want to know that. So let's be
MAGA Republican Charlie Kirk trying to defend all of this. Play this clip.
Now, 10 years later, we're supposed to believe there's going to be a smoking gun of something in the Epstein files. But what is in the Epstein files is, yes, President Donald Trump is probably mentioned. He was mentioned in the Epstein file dump back in February. You know why? He lived in Palm Beach. There's probably thousands of names in the Epstein files.
Again, Diddy found not guilty on the racketeering. Why would you ever try to get him for racketeering? That's so fucking mentally ill. But they did find him guilty on some other shit or whatever. But even so, pedophile Trump, President Trump, pedophile Trump, whichever you prefer. If that guy pardons him, dude, I mean, it just shows you what I'm talking about.
Was he part of the Epstein client list? Absolutely not. That is complete nonsense. But to say that Donald Trump is not releasing the Epstein files because he's in them in some incriminating way, yes, it's very clear that if you live in Palm Beach, you might have been mentioned and caught up in some sort of conversation with Jeffrey Epstein.
And look, we had author Michael Wolff on the Midas Touch podcast, and he was considering being Epstein's biographer. He never did it, but Epstein consulted him, and he says, I've got 80 to 90, 100 hours of Epstein on tape. And he spoke a ton about his relationship with Donald Trump. Let's release those files here. Play this clip.
And he sat for many, many hours of discussion with me. I mean, certainly 80, 90, probably 100 hours I have of Epstein on tape. And one of the discussions, because this was occurring, Trump became the president in 2017, I began writing about Trump. And so we spent a lot of time talking about Donald Trump and Epstein's relationship with Trump, which went on for a good, certainly 15 years and was incredibly close. They were, each other's closest friend for a very long time. And Epstein, I think Epstein is one of those people who truly knew Donald Trump, knew many secrets about Donald Trump, and was threatening to Donald Trump.
So I guess here, let me tell you what my thought is, right? Democratic Congressmember Robert Garcia just took over the Oversight Committee. I'd love to see the Democrats hold some shadow hearings, right? Remember the shadow hearings? We played them before here. Do a shadow hearing on Epstein and the connection between Trump and Epstein, and bring in people who know, and let's have that conversation.
And that other guy, what do you call it? Teal, that fucking psychopath. Wait till you see the video I show you on this psychopath, dude. This guy's so fucking. I'm going to show you the mentality of these billionaires in another video to show you who you're dealing with, because people don't get who they're dealing with. These one percenters, these billionaires are absolutely come from the most evil families, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, the 13 families that have been ruling for the last, ever since the Great Meltification event 500 years ago. Ever since the old world got wiped out. By the way, the old world had was a highly advanced civilization that was here for ages, thousands of years. They had free energy and electricity for thousands of years. Were wiped out by an event, and then these families immediately put a stranglehold in the last 500 years. They put a back to, I mean, even Napoleon, you can see how they did it with the banks. They've been doing this shit for hundreds of years. For the last 500 years, they've accumulated all this power and wealth in just 500 years.
We're not going to get distracted here in the Midas Touch Network when it comes.
So when these asshole retards regurgitate their programming and say that Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, it shows you how fucking dumb they are. Like, that dude doesn't have a pot to piss in, okay? It's not even real. None of it is real, and it's all subsidized, and he doesn't, and even if it was real, it's like 1% of 1% of what his families, multi-generational families, have made for hundreds of years. They literally supplied both sides of the wars for hundreds of years and made money and power off the governments for hundreds of years. Elon Musk has been alive for what 40, 50 years at the most, whatever. And you're going to fucking call him the richest man when he's only been alive 50 years. And you're going to compare that to 500 years of these families. You have to be the dumbest piece of diarrhea shit that I've ever seen in my life.
To this stuff. What I laid out for you is the objective evidence. Google it, search it. If you think there's anything that I said was incorrect, fact check me. But that's where we're at right now. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe.
So how's everybody doing? God damn it, these fucking flies, I swear. Man. So we got Justin, another perspective, Don. Man, appreciate you, buddy. Thomas, appreciate you, buddy. Karmic Kiss, appreciate you. How y'all doing? Let me see. Late but present. Better late than never. God damn it! Fuck! I hate these things, man! God! Trying to land in my fucking face? A fucking fly, literally, has the goddamn balls and gall to land on my fucking face while I'm trying to do this. Fix that AC unit, dude. If it's hot, man. Again, luckily that all the days are progressively getting shorter every day. Every day from here on out, the days are progressively getting shorter and shorter again. So don't worry, the heat will go away soon enough. You'll get that residual heat. But yeah, it's not going to be, the days are not getting longer anymore. The longest day of the year was summer solstice, June 21st. And then for 3 more days, it's the same amount of hours of daylight to night compared to the night, long day until the 25th. That day is now shorter than the day before, and so forth, all the way to the equinox, where it's 12 hours of light and 12 hours of night. Equinox, equal night and day. 12 hours, 12. And then after that, the days get even shorter, and bam, that's when the plants really start to die, because they require the sun and light. Meanwhile, you got mental ill retards trying to blot out the sun. Look, I've never seen such a mentally ill society in my life. To be acclimated and adjusted to a society like this means that you're nuts. I'm just saying. I mean, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself. $95. That's a bitch right there. That reminds me of back in Florida. Look, all these retards from the New York came down when I was growing up in Florida, and they say it wrong, and they got me saying it wrong because they come down and call it Florida. Why would they call it Florida instead of Florida? Because back in the day, they used to abbreviate Florida with FLA. That's it. So everybody says Florida now. When it's now they just put FL. But back in the day, the abbreviation for Florida was FLA, and I think they think it's spelled FLA, Florida. I don't know because of that. But ever since then, they got everybody saying Florida now. So I mean, I just go with it. Whatever. I don't care. Florida, whatever. It doesn't matter. You get the idea. Now, I want to play a little bit of my original documentary with the really super cool music and Truth Seeker 69 Jen helped a little bit there. She did a good job, but then she threw me under the bus, started calling me jackwagon and shit, and pissed me off because I was called her out for her belief and imaginary friends and the God-tardness religion nonsense doesn't work for me. I mean, everybody in this world, what I notice is they all just default to what everybody else believes. They never check for themselves if what kind of world they live in and who they really are, and they just go with what they're told. It's so bizarre how dumb these fucking retards here are. Oh my God, this thing's such a piece of goddamn shit. Do your fucking job. I'm going to play a couple brief moments here. We're not playing the whole thing and whatnot, but I put all the links below, by the way, for this that I'm playing right now. It's below, part 1. Look it up. Here we go. Actually, I got to go back to the screen because a stream fucking retard. God damn, they're so dumb, bro. Why? Why are you so dumb? Narrated and produced by Jerry Camp and the Truth Seeker 69 or Jen. We even got a Valdez in here. Watch. I even put a Valdez in it. What? Artwork by a Valdez. I give credit where credit's due. Artwork by a Valdez, Clups, whatever the fuck it is. He did the When the Buildings Cried brick face, so he gets credit for that. And Jen did a hell of a good job, if you ask me. Listen to Jen here. She did a great job until she threw me under the bus, and then she just shit the bed like crazy like that.
Having taken the long road to truth, we find that our world is nothing like what we were taught. Government-funded education system has indoctrinated the masses for generations to perceive the world the way they want us to perceive it. and not to see it for what it actually is.
Yeah.
We are taught that we live on a spinning ball, hurtling through space at astronomical speeds.
God damn, I missed. Idiot. How could you miss?
But nothing could be further from the truth.
I'm gonna melt this shit. Come
All it
on.
takes is observation and a clear mindset. And you can see that we live in a flat earth realm. Flat and stationary, with the sky above us turning.
Obvious. Any idiot can go outside and see this. A child.
We have been lied to.
A child.
On so many levels.
They don't believe.
Now we are going to expose a level that you may not have ever considered, but has actually been right in front of our eyes this whole time, just like flat Earth.
Epic evidence.
Historical and geological timelines are completely fabricated. They added 1,000 years onto our historical timeline
More than that.
and tell us that mountains,
1,500.
canyons, gorges, volcanoes, etc. took millions of years to form, but nothing could be further from the truth. We are going to explore the possibilities of what this realm that we live in really is. And what exactly are these so-called geological features that they tell us are mountains, waterfalls, gorges, natural cave systems, etc. We are going to look at the world with new eyes. We can
Windows.
now finally see what has been in front of our faces this whole time.
Windows everywhere, columns everywhere. Come on. It's so dumb. They're so dumb here that they can't see this. Bizarre.
So sit back,
Stairs,
open your mind, and welcome
windows, doors.
to When the Buildings Cry.
I would like to read several quotes. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Nikola Tesla. My brain is only a receiver. In the universe, there is a core from which we obtain knowledge,
The higher self,
strength,
the higher mind,
and inspiration.
the higher spirit.
Earth
Solid.
is a realm. It is not a planet. It is not an object. Therefore, it has no edge. Earth would be more easily defined as a system environment. Earth is also a machine. It is a Tesla coil. The sun and moon are powered wirelessly with the electromagnetic field, the ether. This field also suspends the celestial spheres with the electromagnetic levitation. Electromag levitation disproves gravity because the only force you need to counter is the electromagnetic force,
That's Tesla.
not gravity.
The real Tesla.
Though free to think and act, we are held together like the stars in the firmament with ties inseparable.
Connected at the heart.
Though these ties cannot be seen, but we can feel them. Each of us is only part of a whole.
Folks, if you are here right now, you are integral to this place, to this place's, to the creation of this experience that you're experiencing. You're experiencing our own creation right now.
But can anyone doubt today that all the millions of individuals and all the innumerable types and characters constitute an entity, a unit? Though free to think and act, we are held together like the stars in the firmament with ties inseparable. These ties cannot be seen, but we can feel them. I cut myself in the finger and it pains me. This finger is part of me. We are all connected etherically and electromagnetically at the heart. The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in 1 decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence. The third of the 7 universal laws.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm going full accommodation mode when I'm in that documentary. I'm totally trying to just, be as friendly as I can. I don't know. Yeah, I hit puberty, I guess. No, go to BitChute. I got all those songs, most of them on my account on BitChute. But yeah, folks, Gio went straight up batshit and deleted all my fucking music. Fuck him, dude. I complained about him not showing up, and he went fucking nuts. He's nuts. Fuck him. Deleted all my fucking videos and music. No worries. I got him on BitChute, and it's not a big deal. I could care less. This is not a concern at all. Now check this shit out. Check this shit out. Here we go. This is good.
The old world must have been far beyond anything we see today in our modern day cityscapes.
Again, the only thing I don't like is the quality is really low resolution. It's too bad because, I mean, the evidence is overwhelmingly irrefutable. These are all melted buildings. They're all melted buildings. There's no natural mountains. I killed it. And then you got all these assholes out there saying that my research and discoveries are invalid. You're just making them more valid. You've proven that you hadn't even looked at it, because anybody who looks at it, that argues with me and looks at it, they apologize. Like, look at Mike DeVino. He's a perfect example of it. He fucking was like, bricks don't melt. He was fucking talking all kinds of diarrhea shit. And now he's like, you were right. Yeah, you were right.
The buildings were certainly massive and interconnected as well. The inhabitants of these massive buildings were much larger than us, and most likely had longer lifespans. So what did this old world look like? Let's take a moment and let our imaginations run wild.
Melted buildings. There they are. Powers to the domes, baby. I hate these things. Don't land on me.
When this building started to melt, it collapsed over on its side.
Like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, biatch! By the way, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, there's many of them everywhere. Pyramids, many of them everywhere. Eiffel Towers, many of them all over the world, everywhere. Buildings that you call the Capitol with columns, all over the world, the same, everywhere. Evidence of a highly advanced civilization is literally everywhere, and the evidence that they were wiped out is everywhere, and the evidence that it was probably 500 years ago is everywhere. Look at the meltage. Come on, melt nuts, melt nuts.
The mountain ranges that we see today were at one time in the not so distant past vast cities that stretched out across the plain.
Across the plain. It's got badass music in it too. Oh, come on.
What we call mountain ranges, gorges, and waterfalls are actually melted buildings.
Through the window, you can still see the window on the right. Bam!
Looking at these pictures with new eyes gives us a fresh perspective. The more we find out about our past, the more we realize how deep the lie actually goes.
She did a good job. I'm proud of her. Melted buildings. It's insane. It's so insane. They got wiped out, man. They had a meltdown here. This place had a meltdown.
We may never know what happened to this vast civilization. But one thing is for sure, the evidence that it did exist is all around us. The word apocalypse means the revealing. All is being revealed.
Right now.
A new layer of truth about our past has just been revealed to you.
Wow. Absolutely.
You will never look at the world around you the same again.
Never. You can't unsee it. You can't unsee it. That was a melted statue. The ball. Ah! Rock curtain. Rock curtain. Behind that was a building. Look at the roller coaster and shit. All on the building, man. They attached the roller coaster to the fucking outside of the building. Epic. Von Trepic. Don't land on me, bro. See the melting, the viscous holes, pulling away as it becomes liquid from a solid. The weight makes it fall and flow. Melt flood. Melt flood. Shout out to Melt Flood Chicago. Much love, brother. Love you, man. And Sandra, too. Shout out to Sandra as well. Sandra Chase. Shout out to you two for helping me out yesterday. In my time of need. You two are the only ones that helped me in my time of need yesterday. Shout out to you. You should be commended. You're the only ones that helped me. God damn it. Melted to shit. Melted building. Look. How the fuck would you call that natural unless you're mentally ill? You have to be. These geology tards are fucked in the head, man. The shit they believe. Oof. Oof. Wow. There goes the keyhole shaped. Everything's keyhole shaped. You are the key, folks. That's why you walk through it, you're the key. We are the key to this place. Let's open up ourselves like picking a lock to get to the truth. Now they're just showing off. The bookshelf hanging over. I love that. Showing off. I love it. Windows, doors, arches, stairs. What has that? Buildings. Now let's go over some interiors of some of these buildings that were left intact and untouched and unharmed by the X Factor event. First thing we notice is the incredible detail, creativity, and glory that they build into everything. The wood here, the shapes,
just everything is built by a completely different mindset being than of today. That's more profit geared. We can't build that unless there's money in it. And again, look at the glory. Notice up here the ceilings, the arches, the domes, the arches, the columns. Notice the heat damage on.
You know what I don't like is when people mention my name to all these fucking pedophiles that tried to steal credit for my discoveries. As soon as they mention my name, they get blocked. Everybody mentions my name, the one who discovered it, in these absolute asshole Meltology groups. They block them. Like, it's mental illness. It shows you the evilness of these people and the psychopathy.
This right here.
They just want to steal credit so they can make money off of my discoveries. And they have made a shit ton. John Levy made a shit ton of money off my shit. And he doesn't even get it right. He's a fucking retard.
Failing. We'll get to that. Again, clearly built and inherited from the old world. We didn't build this. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, we did not build this. Look at the size of the doorways. They're up here. Look at the size of these windows. Look at the size of this building. It's a machine. It's jacked. And it's also heat damaged and melted and scorched at the bottom. But all these people here are in wonder because we didn't build this. We inherited this. We didn't build this. And then here we go. We didn't build this. This was here from the old world, highly advanced civilization. But as you can see, it's surrounded in sand, which was once hot, liquid, melted building, like lava, before it densified into fine grains of thoroughly cooked sand, which was building. And again, what do we see here?
It's ash.
That height and then bone. Look at these doors. Built by a completely different mindset and bigger being. Again, these towers are jacked. Look at the domes. Look at the structures.
Electricity for thousands of years, idiots.
Look at the columns. Look at the arches. Just magnificent, glorious. Again, the Tartarians were outlandish, stylish. Everything they touched had to be completely decked out. Highly advanced civilization that preceded us that was wiped out by some X Factor event. Notice the incredible way they built. All the buildings are the same all over the world, made by red brick, and then you get these where it's upgraded and updated with the concrete molds over the brick to give it that new look.
Imagine finding out that there was a highly advanced civilization here because you actually finally looked at the earth and looked around our realm, and you realize that for thousands of years they had free energy, free electricity already for thousands of years. And then some fucking retard comes along and takes credit for it, aka Thomas Edison. You didn't discover anything. At the most, you could pretend you rediscovered it. But they had electricity here for thousands of years, ages. An age is 2,500 years. A great year is 25,900 years. So for ages, they had free energy and electricity here until they got wiped out, and then it stopped working. It got wiped out. Although the pumping of the water is still flowing to this day. So when you see these melted buildings and you see water coming out of them, natural springs, those were fountains. Those were water systems that were in a building before the meltdown that are still working to this day. In the old world, they had fountains and free-flowing water nonstop. The high tide, low tide is this pumping action where water was constantly flowing for free in all the buildings. I told you they were highly advanced. They all had free water everywhere. Fountains were flowing. It was amazing.
It's got the tower.
And it was the old world. Some of them might have been cultitarians, but again, that's a whole other thing. A small portion of the old world might have been cultitarians.
It's got the domes. It's got the arches. It's got the columns. It's got the arched columns. It's just old world, and it's inherited.
God.
And we didn't build this. Again, look at the size of these people. Look at the doors, the windows. Look how small these people are. They're down there. Again, you'll start to notice these buildings are the same all over the world. And then you'll also start to notice that looking from above was like looking down on like a Disney World. Besides the fact that it looked like a motherboard of a computer, it also looked like eye candy, if you will. It had designs.
It was very pleasant to look at. It was high frequency. It was uplifting.
Like a Starford here. It had
imagine everywhere you looked was eye candy. That would lift you up. Now look at it. It's boring, dismal, depressing shit designed to bring you down. Boxes. Skyscrapers made like boxes. Shut up.
No, buildings that, in my view, the same way that Disney World shapes a bush to look like an animal, I think they were doing that with buildings.
They did, clearly.
So when you look down from above, they looked like different things. It was like looking down on a huge train set, in my view, / Disney World / motherboard / eye candy, to look good from above. It's meant to look good from above, in my view.
Yeah, there's no doubt there were fucking levitation cities. That's the people in the sky people they were talking about. They had levitation cities looking down. It was an epic. It was an incredible world here. Blimps everywhere.
As well. And
which is amazing to me is that a lot of these blimps survived this event. It's amazing to me.
Absolutely love this. Again, look how absolutely decked out this is. This is from the old world, inherited. We didn't build this.
Towers to the domes. Arches. See the green there? That's heat damage. See the green heat damage? At the top, it's not green. It's not damaged up there.
And again, what do you see here?
Every time you see green and shit, that's heat damage from the heat from this event, the Great Meltification event, wiping out an incredible civilization 500 years ago.
Just the coolest thing ever. Again, it's like a bookshelf. They extended the building here like a bookshelf just to show off here. It's magnificent. It's glorious. It's impeccable. And again, heritage from the old world. Look at the little tiles, how they like.
Indoor pools where the pool goes into other rooms. Again, they had these waterways connecting in the world too. Again, the retard, John Levy, the guy's so dumb. He's talking about the Great Lakes of Illinois, that whole area there. All those, the reason they have water now is because they had water in the old world. That's why there was water there. It's because in the old world, those were waterways. And there were waterways connected everywhere. You can still drive a ship from the Atlantic Ocean all the way to Chicago. Because I told you, there's waterways everywhere. And there were lakes, big lakes and waterways everywhere in the old world.
Like to do, and everything's decked out.
Like I said, it was a lot of water and it wasn't as hot there because the fact that it didn't evaporate into a vapor gas from a solid into a liquid, or a liquid into a gas. Excuse me. The fact that it didn't evaporate from a liquid into a gas, some of it did clearly, but shows it wasn't that hot there. That's why the building is that's why Chicago is one of the biggest pockets of survival. Everything I say aligns and makes perfect fucking sense.
completely eye candy. Everything, everywhere, all the time. Everything was eye candy. And imagine a world where everything looked like eye candy. The frequencies of appreciation that you put out just from being able to see.
One day the retards might realize the geniusness of this discovery.
The incredible glory of what they built harmoniously together as a whole, as an empire, as an order, an old world order. Glorious.
I love this. Wow.
Again, everything was glorious.
Holy shit balls.
The ceilings, the doors, everything built for a bigger being there. Look at the detail here. A different mindset. They're not making a profit on this. They're getting the glory out of being very creative. And just the detail of decking out everything they touched was glorious. It wasn't about profit. It was a different mindset. It was more about harmony and glory.
Now, was that world perfect? Absolutely not. You're in duality. So there's going to be a dark side to this world as well. It has to be. It's the nature of this realm. Electromagnetic. There's two sides of duality here. It's created out of duality. Everything here is generated and made. You can't have up without down. You can't have soft without hard, or good without bad, or in without out, or smooth without rough. It's endless.
Find themselves and co-creating in harmony, in my view.
Towers to the dome.
Look, buildings look like they also were machines. Towers to the domes. And again, by the way, rainbows are a proof of the dome.
That rainbow is the light that is reflecting off the dome above, idiots. That's why you get rainbows. The only way to create a fake rainbow indoors is to take a light and a glass ball, and you can make a rainbow. Oh, I bet you didn't know that, because the goddamn government is going to call you a conspiracy theorist. A bunch of pedophiles is going to call you names like children. Boo, boo, goo, 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 gaga, goo, goo. Fuck you.
You can't recreate a rainbow without a reflective dome and light. Did you know that? Yes. Do the experiments yourself. You'll see why. Rainbows are a proof of the dome. You can't recreate a rainbow without a reflective dome and light. Did you know that? Yes. Do the experiments yourself. You'll see that there's no curve. You can never build buildings like this on a ball or on a curve moving.
Notice the bottom of the building is absolutely perfectly flat.
It has to be flat like this and level. You can't build buildings on balls that are spinning. It's impossible.
And again, notice how the bottom of the building is perfectly flat and horizontal. And again, straight lines can never bend. And bending lines can never turn straight. Straight lines can never bend. Never. It can only keep going straight, assholes.
Again, from the old world, look at the arches, look at the red brick, look at the towers. And again, you're going to see these buildings with organs all over the world. And again, why did they call them organs? Perhaps they put out healing frequencies that healed your organs. And again, nobody builds like this these days. Clearly, look at the detail. Look at this. This is all inherited from the old world. Pockets of survival that made it through the X Factor event, but you still see scorch marks.
Look at the damage,
and damage.
Look at all the black marks.
You see a lot of damage. You still see the damage.
Again, wind and rain can't melt buildings. Wind and rain can't melt buildings and scorch them blackened dark.
Up there too. Look at that. But what do you see? Arches, super high ceilings, super awesome columns with incredible styled and creative concrete molds. Just glorious. Look at the stained glass, the color. They can't even do that today, can they? I don't know. But look at everything is just completely from another world, because it was another world. It was the old world. Again, this old world was established in here for, in my view, 5,000-10,000 years at least.
Thousands of years, for ages.
And then something wiped them out. Less than 1,000 years ago, as soon as maybe 600 years ago, 500. I don't know. Very recently, something wiped them out. A highly advanced civilization that has been here for thousands of years was here. Something wiped them out recently, and here we are. The parasites already have us under house arrest, wearing masks for a virus that does not exist. Again, if it existed by now, everybody would be dead. They would all be dead. We'd all be dead. And look at the size of the people here.
It looks like I got some of that truth in there. I didn't even remember that. Damn, I can't believe I put that in there. Yikes. I don't want to get it deleted.
And then look at the size of the doors. Different size doors. This is even bigger up here. And then these bigger ones here on the sides. Still big.
These fucking door entrances are enormous. Look how small these people are compared to the door entrances and the windows. And the ceilings are, these things are built for big motherfuckers. 25 footers. I'm serious.
But not this big. Wow. You want to get in this guy's way. But look at how jacked this is. It's like a machine. And look at
it. Surely provided free energy.
The creative stained glass. Look at the damage here.
And by free energy is the whole entire city with these buildings creates a field, a high voltage field, where you can just power everything with an unharmful high voltage field. Everything would just power up, charge, light. They can do it right now. You can do it right now wirelessly. In fact, that's why your phone can charge wirelessly right now, because they used to do that in the old world, because it's just normal physics here. Everything's electromagnetic.
The black scorched marks and melting everywhere. Look, it's all heat damaged. People think that they built and carved out of granite and marble and all that. No, that's just heat damaged concrete from the X Factor event. No. It created all kinds of different things from the heat and pressure of this event.
Thomas, dude, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Nobody filled the lakes with pond. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bro. Those lakes were there in the old world, bro. Okay? Stop it. Stop looking at other people. It's really fucking your head up, bro. You got to stop looking at all these other Meltology groups and channels. It's going to totally diarrhea shit your brain. It already has, I can tell. I mean, you say shit like that. It's nonsense.
Buildings were turned into all different kinds of things, and we'll get to that. And again, look at this incredible.
Like they had water pumping and flowing around the whole world. It still is pumping water to this day. They call them natural springs.
Looking building, all upgraded with the concrete molds over the red brick. And glorious interior. Just almost every inch of everything is decked out with something and creative.
Look how small
look at the arches here, the columns.
Look how small these fuckers are.
Jacked. The buildings are jacked like machines.
Look at the heat damage.
Some of them. And then look at the arches here.
Look at all the green. All that green is heat damage. All the blackened marks on the red brick melted is heat damage. This thing used to be beautiful. It's been melted to shit. Still looks beautiful, though.
Here, it's got the upgraded molds over it. Towers, domes, columns. And look how short they are. We are here. And look how high these ceilings are. And then there's a ceiling for a door for and a ceiling in a room for that size of being. And then there's a door and a ceiling in a room for that size. And of course, the one in this room is huge. A huge being.
Yeah, maybe it was
could
old world.
easily access this.
I don't know what the hell. There was water there already.
From the weather, from the elements, if you will, which is what I was looking for. We're very vulnerable to the elements, our bodies intentionally. Look, this is jacked. It's like a machine. This is from the old world. And again, you can clearly tell things from the old world that were left over, that we did not build. We inherited them. You'll pick up a sense, a style. Everything's outlandishly creative and decked out. Everything. I mean, look at this. Columns. I mean, this is incredible ceilings. Again, look how small the people are down here. Look how big the organs are. And there's organs in buildings all over the world. I guess you could go in there, listen to the frequencies of these things. Maybe they could heal your bodies, get like a recharge. Look at the incredible detail. Perhaps some of these old world beings had wings, like those monkeys. Humanoids had wings and tails. Again, when you look down, it was like eye candy. This is a star fort. Perhaps it was putting out frequencies, because when we take frequencies, you can create shapes, and the higher and more complicated the higher the frequencies, the more complicated the shapes you could make. And the lower the frequency, the less complicated the shapes you could make. So frequency made shapes, and conversely, I view.
So you can take high frequencies, and the shapes are incredible. They're incredibly complex. And if you take really low frequencies, the shapes are very boring. And it goes both ways. If high frequency creates incredibly interesting shapes, then interesting shapes create high frequency. And look what happened to these buildings here. They were made and built into these shapes, and then they got cooked and melted into ash, and the retards think they terraformed it. No, these used to be buildings, and they've been cooked to ash, and the shapes remain. The shapes remain. I showed you a building earlier that wasn't made out of grass. It was all red brick and concrete. But now it's been these ones here that the idiots call star forts. They're just buildings. They got cooked, and the grass loves to grow on the ash everywhere.
I see it that shapes also put out different frequencies. These shapes put out frequencies as well.
All these buildings were cooked into ash, and the retards think that how would you? There is no earth to terraform. You're not on a ball. There was no sand. There was no soil. There is no earth or dirt that you idiots call earth. There was only red brick buildings and concrete. The only reason you have sand and ash is because they got melted into ash. And now you have soil, sand, clay. Clay is red brick that hasn't been cooked into ash completely. It's too easy for me.
All this frequency.
This shit's too easy for me.
Is creating shapes. These shapes probably were putting out a positive frequency.
That's not grass. That's a building. This one has not been completely melted to shit. You can still see the concrete and the red brick under it.
Frequency.
Look over here, it's been cooked to shit. It's all melted buildings. It's a big melt flood around it. And you notice that these epic walls have prevented the melt flood from coming in and melting these building walls here. Epic. Everything makes perfect sense. You don't have to bend your imagination to try to make it fit with all of their crazy shit they tell you.
Looking down, this is very damaged, but you can see how this.
Another one. You see the shapes of these buildings. It's not terraformed. They got melted.
At one point was glorious and beautiful.
That's how dumb John Levi is, dude. He thinks, look, they terraformed it. Boo boo goo goo. Diarrhea shit coming out of his mouth nonstop. He's such a jackass.
To look down on and look at.
That asshole will never vindicate me and give me credit where it's deserved. He's his fucking little fucking pea brain and his huge ego. It's insane. It was amazing. Get the fuck out of here. It obviously looks pretty damaged, but look at how glorious it looked. And again, intact, free energy right there. The color of lightning, electricity. There it is. Red shift, blue shift, you get violet. There it is. Bam, bam, bam. Violet, red shift, blue shift. Arches, domes, towers to the domes. Towers to the motherfucking domes. Oh my. Look at the color. That is tight. Can you say eye candy? It looks like eye candy to me, right? I'm putting off a positive vibration right now just from looking at that thing. And again, look at this. Again, more of a machine than any type of, I mean. There's no real usable office space here or living space. This is a component on a circuit board, a machine. It's jacked. Part of the towers to the dome, free electricity. Putting out that high voltage field. This right here is glorious. Look at the arches, look at the domes, look at the arch domes, and look at the towers. And then, I still don't have any weed. I forgot what it's like to smoke weed. I hate this place. Dabs, what's that? Notice that you can't house anybody in that. Fuck. Nobody can use office space in that. It's worthless. It's just there. It's like a monument. It's a huge building, but there's no office space there. It's like it's built for the grid, the machine, the circuit board, motherboard, Earth, instead of Mother Earth or motherboard. Mother Earth, maybe it's motherboard Earth. Yeah, I forgot. Again, look at the glory here. Look at the arch. Buildings connected. See how they're connected with an arch and a bridge? All the buildings were connected. You could travel the whole world on top of buildings in a circle. Inner circles, outer loops, inner loops. And then there was one huge road right through the middle and another huge road right through the side. And everything was connected like that with roads and on buildings and in waterways. All connected. One world under a dome, flat at the bottom. It has to be. Buildings are all flat. Every building, take a fucking goddamn level and it's flat. Period. Incredible. You can literally take a level to the bottom of every building, and straight lines will never, ever start to curve. Yes, is there topography? Yeah, because melted buildings melted, assholes. Only because buildings melted. Underneath it is flatter than piss on a platter, jackass, shit-stained face retards. I am always right. I'm not wrong. You suck. I don't. Look at the glory. Look at the absolute incredible domes and arched columns and towers to the domes. Look at the glory. Look at the detail. Look at the creativity here. This is a whole nother world, a whole nother mindset. It goes on and on. I mean, it goes on and on. This right here literally look like a transformer. It's jacked. These look like transformers. Literally. These literally look like transformers at electrical power grid. Yeah. And look at the size of this thing. It is enormous. And look at these towers on the left. They're jacked. And again, look at this female tartar and male tartar. Tartar, fem tartar. They look ferocious. They're going to get you. And again, look. Towers to the 1800s. Look at all the lights everywhere. They told you there was no electricity, remember? What? At this time. Oops! Remember? Oops, a group of pedophiles lied to me, and they raised you in schools. All the schools are government indoctrination of pedophiles to hide the actual real world that used to be here, the truth. Look at the amount of lights. Do you know how much power that would take to run that? Again, shit is still working. When you explore and study your own reality, you catch and understand what is real and what is not real. You catch them in all the lies. There was no electricity in 1800. And again, look. 1800s. Look at all the lights everywhere. They told you there was no electricity, remember, at this time. Remember? Again, when you explore and study your own reality, you catch and understand what is real and what is not real. You catch them in all the lies. Look at how many lights are on here. It's insane. Look at this place. It's glorious. Look at the towers to the domes. Lighting. Incredible. Mind-blowing. Glorious. Look at this. Every detail of this place is. They can't build like this today because the people that build it aren't here anymore. They died 500 years ago. Obviously, there were survivors and pockets of survival, but they were so spread out, and the generations, they hide the truth right away. Type of beautiful artwork on it or something, man. You got columns, arches. I mean, it's glorious. It's incredible. It's out over the top. It's outlandish. Again, a bird head with the wings and like a dog body or lion body. And again, what looks like heat damaged transformers buried in hot liquid lava building, melted liquid red brick building. And look at the interior, clearly built by the old world and inherited by us. We didn't build any of this at all. Not even close. You'll never see a new building built like this, ever. It doesn't exist anymore. It just doesn't exist. We're in a different capitalistic dog-eat-dog world. If there's no profit, again, this is the height. Look at the windows, how big they are. Look how short they are. They come up halfway of the door. The real height of the being that this was built for looked pretty big, right, taller. And again, look at the glory here, the arches. Look at the towers, the domes, the upside down ice cream cones. Incredible. Brick, all red brick, everything red brick. Look at that, domes, arches. Look at these depictions on the wall that they had, arches. Look at the interior, just completely decked out, just glorious, very creative. Look at the woodwork here. I mean, everything is beautiful. Man, I love that. And again, look at this. Look at this depiction on top of buildings. Like I told you, you could travel the whole world in a circle on top of buildings via trains, roads, all that shit, waterways. It's there. It's all there. All the evidence was there. It's what we find. It's just what we find. From all the damage, we can still see what used to be here, so to speak, for the most part. Buildings to buildings everywhere. What does that remind you of? The Fifth Element. But this, they'll tell you that this was a depiction of the future and this and that, but this was really a depiction of the old world. Again, the Great Wall of China is not a Great Wall, and it's not China. It's from the old world to Tarians, and it's not a wall. It's buildings. It's the top of buildings, and it's not a wall. It's buildings. And the walkway is this right here on top. See, it's not a wall, and all the buildings had walkways on them. Of buildings. This is exactly what they think is the Great Wall of China. Joe Rogan's dumb retard ass, his little tiny pea brain could never comprehend this documentary. His little fragile brain would fall apart. Joe Rogan's brain would fall apart. He could never comprehend the complexity of my discoveries. Ever. He's too dumb. Yeah, but all these buildings got melted all the way up on both sides. And it's just like a wall now. It's like this. That's what they think. It's all inherited from the old world. It's all melted buildings. Look at the dome here. And the reason I bring up Joe Rogan is because he was talking about the Great Wall of China, whenever I saw it, and it's a joke. He's so dumb, it's insane. Look at the interior. This is all from the old world. Look at all the statues. Again, more evidence that it's a highly advanced civilization. Besides the architecture and everything, looks like a laptop. I don't know that it is. I mean, it's total conjecture. How they do the concrete molds. I mean, it's total speculation. But we have the evidence, the fact that they had free energy like this and electricity and lights like that everywhere, and the complexity of these buildings are so amazing. It's obvious that they weren't complete retards like today. It's like a laptop. Wearing robes and shit. Look at the melting. Look at the incredible detail in the concrete molds here. They're so detailed. The sculpting. Look at the detail in the wood here. Look at the style. It's outlandish. I love it. High vibration. It's decked out to the max. Look at the wood, the dome, shit, the squares, all. A dome of stained glass with damage on it, with heat damage on it. Emphasizing resonances, frequencies of the ether. It's all about the. And you should see the size of some of these organs. They're fucking enormous. Frequency, it looks like, to me, back then, emphasizing resonances, frequencies of the ether. It's all about the frequency. It looks, I would hear. Sorry, I gotta hear that. Look at the style. It's outlandish. I love it. It's decked out to the max. Look at the wood, the dome, the squares, all emphasizing resonances, frequencies of the ether. It's all about the frequency, it looks like, to me, back then. Like Tesla says, everything is frequency, vibration, and energy. Look at these organs. At what vibration? At what frequency is your vibration's energy? At what frequency is your vibration's energy? Wow. It's a lot of statues. Look at that. All identical concrete molds. This building is a machine. It is jacked. Jacked. Arches. Oh, look at towers, domes. A lot of black marks. Damage. Just incredible. This is all from the old world. Yeah. Look, domes, columns. Organ over here, another organ over there. I mean, what is this place? It's all inherited from the old world. Look at the size of these ceilings. Amazing, man. It's amazing. Look at the detail in this. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's shiny. Oh my. Uh-oh. All right. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I like it. But when I see the wood here shine like this, I can't help it. It's fucking crazy. I love how that is shining like that. Look at the detail. Look at the wood. Look at the crown here. What is that, like a cherry wood? Nice and shiny cherry wood. Isn't that fucking gorgeous? That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of fucking luxury I deserve, and you too. This is the kind of luxury we all deserve and had, if you can remember, from the old world. This is amazing. Detailed, creative artwork here. Everything is amazing here. It's glorious. You have a huge high ceiling and then this stairway to go to the second floor. The columns, I can't hardly take it. Yeah. I mean, look how big this place is. Look how small they are down here. These have been here for hundreds or thousands of years, but they'll tell you hundreds and even thousands in some cases. How did they have the technology and the resources and everything to build this back then, according to their narrative, okay? I told you my narrative is it was a highly advanced civilization, wiped out, so they could do anything. They had the cheat codes, if you will. They understood how it worked compared to us, if you will. Again, towers to the domes, and then another beautiful building behind it. Red brick. It's very damaged.
And look at the arches here.
Green, the orange.
Look at the detail.
The green and the orange are caused by heat damage. And the black, of course, blackened from the heat. Scorched, the scorch marks from the heat.
But also look at the orange and black scorch marks and damage.
And again, see that Nazi symbol? Not evil. Before Hitler hijacked it, not evil. All it did was to represent the Big Dipper as it constantly circles around the North Pole Star nonstop, 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Look at the detail.
360 days a year.
In this stair, I love how it goes up both sides and then up there and the wood here. And just look at the detail and creativity. Look at the size of that door.
Hey, let me ask you, what is a circle? What's half a circle? 180 degrees? What's a full circle? 360, not 365.
Or look at the interior here. It's just beautiful and glorious. Like the way they do that with the wood. I mean, look at what they do with the wood.
Yeah.
I mean, I was impressed with the concrete molds, and then I don't know how they're doing this with the wood. I mean, this is incredible. Whoops, I went the wrong way. I had to see the wood again. Let's see the arch columns here. Just glorious. Oh my, here we go. Towers, domes, and the color and the depiction here, the eye candy, the color, the eye candy, the frequency. I mean, I'm telling you, this is what it looked like in the old world before the X Factor event. It was like this a lot. Look at the glory here. Very glorious. Look at the damage here, but still glorious. Glorious details. Very detailed. Again, look at the bridge. They made a bridge across building to building. Look at the columns, heat damaged. Everything's heat damaged. Arches. Oh, here we go. I love this. Because, I mean, look at how tall they are, and then look at that door. Again, it looks like a machine. Because that's what it was. Part of the grid. Damaged, left over from the old world, but the heat X Factor took its toll on this building and this building. It got X Factored by the X Factor event. Like I said, one of my theories is there were two suns. One got too close to the dome or something, discharged to the grid, melted everything. Look at the glory here, and wiped out a lot of beings. Look at the clothing that they used to wear. Look at the collar. I mean, it makes us look like, it makes us look primitive. They're not the primitive ones. We are. We went backwards. We got inverted. We went in reverse. Look at the detail here. You don't find this anywhere, ever. Nobody does this ever anymore at all. Look at the heat damage here on the left. Look at the concrete, scorched, melted. But this was inherited from the old world. Look at the size of this thing. It looks like a machine. Look at the towers and the domes, and look at the black scorch marks on the roof, of course. Arches, oh my goodness, look at that. Oh, I love that crown. Are you kidding me? Give me. And again, look at this. Just the ridiculousness of, look at this walkway here in the arch. Nobody can live. Look, you know how many bricks and time it takes to build all that? Nobody can even live there. No office space. It's built for just glory as a machine, part of the grid. You see the domes, columns, arches, everything.
I mean, for a while there, I thought that it might have been a dual sun system, and the moon was the sun, and it got damaged because of all the damage, electrical discharge damage you see all over it. But it looks like in the old world, when you see some of the statues, it looks like there was a sun and moon. And that would make more sense because of the relationship of electromagnetism, anode, cathode, right? Sun, moon. And it's buried. It's flooded by liquid hot at the X Factor. During the X Factor, that was hot like lava. Look at the detail here, but look at the melting. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's insane.
I absolutely love this. I absolutely love this.
It's like it was a total government operation, man.
I mean, look at this. Look at the roof. It is decked out, but look at all the black scorch marks. Look at all the black scorch marks. But look how they did the roof with the colors like that. Again, it's like eye candy. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
It looks like a machine.
A component.
I mean, look at
When
the
I say
detail.
machine, when I say machine, it's not moving and all that shit. I mean, it's like an instrument, a tool, a machine to harvest electricity from the ether. Okay?
And it's over the top. Look at the detail in these, in every one of these concrete molds. Whoa.
Damn, another fly?
Ooh, look at the red brick.
Gotta
Look
get
at the
rid of
towers and domes. Just glorious. Oh, come on.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I get excited. I can't help it, okay? It just makes you wish you were living in the old world when it at its, glory point. Just look at the size of the door.
it makes me wish I was living in the old world during the golden age. Not the dark ages. Fuck that. That's probably why they had an X Factor event. That's probably why they had a great multiplication.
And the ceilings and the glory. It's just, I love this. I love that. Again, look.
Fountains running to this day. I mean, shit.
Look at the columns and arches and
see all the green on the statues. Heat damage. Every time you see green, automatically heat damage.
And
you know it automatically it's heat damage.
Statue.
Nobody makes shit green like this. These idiots are so dumb they probably think it's, look, they meant to do that. Boo boo goo goo. Drool, drool, drool. Diarrhea shit, diarrhea shit.
And nobody can live in that. It's just a machine. I mean, it's enormous. That is a huge undertaking to build, but yet it serves no function except for probably a grid. Look at the tile, how they do the detail with the tile on the floors a lot. If they don't do wood, they'll do this tile. You'll see that. This is glorious. Look at the glory here. Look at this. Columns, arches, the detail, the upgraded concrete molds, the damage, the scorch marks. It's highly advanced civilization.
Every old world building has some type of damage on it.
Lived here for thousands of years and was wiped out by an X Factor event. And it's hidden in plain sight. Somebody had to come along and say, hey, these mountains are buildings. Look at the glory. This is just mind-boggling. This is mind-boggling glory. Mind-boggling glory. Again, look at the heat damage. Look what it did to the concrete. Look at this.
Look at this shit.
Look at this statue. Concrete mold. It's mind.
So they didn't carve it because there was no rocks to carve until the buildings melted. Idiot retards. They had concrete soft when it was wet. Before it hardened, they would take concrete before it hardened and sculpt it. Or mold it in molds.
Boggling.
In other words, pour it in a mold and it'll harden, and then there you go. You have a piece to put on a building now over the red brick with a steel. Drill a hole in the brick and you put a steel rod and attach it, and that's what we see.
Glory here.
I proved it.
The detail everywhere you look. Again, it looks like a grid. In the center here is towers. Look at the stained glass, the color. Look at the somatic shape here, possibly emphasizing the type of frequency that they put out in the organs in there. If this even has organs in this one, I don't know. Again, look at the glory here.
Look at the columns, the domes,
tall fuckers,
and it's absolutely decked out. I mean, look at that. This is, a statue.
Sculpted.
A concrete mold, most likely. Some type of mold.
Sculpted. Excuse me. They sculpted this shit.
Look at the arches.
They had
it's just glorious. It's another mindset.
They were incredibly talented. These people in the old world, incredibly talented, incredibly highly advanced, clearly established for thousands of years and many, many ages and many great years.
I mean, this is from the old world. Again, there were beings that, had different animal heads on human bodies and then human heads on animal bodies. I mean, it was just a vessel. Look at the arches and the domes and the sizes.
All these vessels here are just vessels that your soul can come into and operate.
The ceilings and the glory.
And the only way to experience this place is to grow inside a vessel.
Detail here. It's literally mind-boggling.
Everything that is living here right now, it had to grow inside a vessel from a baby. It had to grow it to be here. Think about that shit. That's the only way your soul can really, really, truly access this realm and experience separation from the whole. Although you're still a sovereign integral. You should be sovereign. But we're not right now.
And again,
what has she got here? A fucking cell phone or what? Is that a cell phone?
More signs of advanced civilization.
Is that a cell phone? Is that a fucking cell phone in her hand? I don't know.
Is she playing the music here? Is she on a iPad, laptop, cell phone? Is that a cell phone? Look at the detail. Look at this building here. Look how small the people are. What function does it serve other than glory and a machine on a grid? Look at the melting from the bottom here.
This is a statue from the old world, and look at the building here. It's supposed to be standing on two buildings, but they're all melted at the bottom. See the damage? It's incredible that the people can't put two and two together. It is bizarre. I mean, I'm in the fucking Twilight Zone, dude. It's a nightmare here that they can't see this shit.
This is inherited. This is all inherited from
glory.
The old world.
Look at that.
The Tartarian Empire. It was the same everywhere, all over.
There wasn't a Tartarian Empire. Those maps were fake with melted buildings. They might have been a group that survived and from the old world, like a pocket of survival, and then they might have gone on a tear, but it was the survivors, not, you know what I mean?
The world, there was no disconnect anywhere at all. There was no discovering this over there and that. It was established for thousands of years. Look at the glory here. A highly advanced civilization did this. Not a bunch of cavemen. Cavemen did not do this. Or this. Or that. Or that.
Look at the heat damage on that. Look, stop. Wait. Look at this dome of window. Now, right here on the top left, you see the orange? That's a burn mark from the heat from the X Factor event. It survived, but not untouched or unscathed. Not to my eyeballs, because I see damage here. I was a home inspector. And again, I was a home inspector in 2016, right? In Pueblo, Colorado. And by the year 2017, I figured out all mountains are melted buildings because I inspected over 100 different basements and saw the exact same damage. You had to be a home inspector to discover this. And plus, I was already an avid researcher on our realm, wondering what it was and what happened here. So when I was going in all these hundreds of basements, seeing the same damage of bricks being cooked into ash and rocks and blocks. I figured it out. It took me 3 years to put this documentary out in the year 2020. The first Meltology documentary of all time was made by the person who discovered it, me. All mountains are really just melted buildings. Or that. That is glorious. Look at the woodwork. I mean, that is just, I mean, it's eye candy. It's just constant eye candy. Everywhere you look, eye candy. Of course it got damaged. Look at that. Eye candy. I mean, that is eye candy. Eye candy. I love that. Tell me that ain't eye candy. I love that stained glass. I mean, look at the stained glass here. Every inch of this place is eye candy. Look at that. Eye candy. Eye candy. Eye candy. Look what they used to wear. These motherfuckers are wearing skirts, the men, and now the women wear skirts. Everything's inverted. I mean, dude. Maybe that's a woman. I don't know. I don't care. It's like a dress. Who knows? I don't know shit. Look, another Leaning Tower of Pisa. Because proving how it got hot for a little bit, just enough to melt it, enough to lean over, but then it cooled off fast enough for it to reharden. That's why we know the event wasn't that long. But it created a shit ton of damage in some places. Cooked to ash. North Africa, it's all ash, desert. All deserts around the world were buildings that were cooked into melted flood ash. And all beaches are just buildings at the bottom where they were cooked into ash. All mountains are melted buildings, and all continents are melted buildings that remained above the floodwater, just like islands are just melted buildings that remained above the floodwater. The beaches are the bottoms of the building that got cooked into ash. All around the world, the heat came from the bottom. For fuck's sake, get the fucking memo. Get the memo through your pea brains. And again, the grid got hot. Here I am showing you evidence. This isn't an architectural flaw. This is a melted building at the bottom. And the ground got loose. And it melted. And then again, like I said, something cooled it off very fast, and it hardened again. Because nothing cooled it off very fast. The electricity just stopped, because that's what was creating the heat. And when the electricity stops, the heat stops, and it instantly cools off. Okay? I'm a little rough around the edges, 4 years ago. So give me a break. I don't even want to give myself a break. It is concrete. And it stayed up. And this is not the only... I'm probably the hardest person on myself. Only building, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, that did this. There are many buildings that did this, as you will see. Right now. I will show you. All over the world. Eye candy. These shits. Eye candy. Look at that. Look at the woodwork. Incredible. They even got their own. There's another leaning. And again, here's another building leaning over. And it... Again, here is more evidence of another building leaning the fuck over because of this great meltification event 500 years ago, wiping out an incredible world, an incredible, highly advanced civilization. God damn it. Fuck! Hardened again, and it's still standing. Stop landing on concrete. The tile work there. I mean, damage. Looks like somebody painted on the tile. I don't know. Look at this eye candy here at the stained glass. Nobody builds like that anymore. Damage. Look at the wood. Nobody does this. This is all inherited. This is all from the old world. Look at that. Look at that epic spiral staircase. Stairway. Oh my goodness. Look at the arches. Look at the stairway, how it just melts down like that. I love that. That is very, very stylish. Oh, eye candy. It's just decked out everywhere. I love that color. Look at that nice, beautiful light blue with the dark blue. Man. Candy decked out. Just completely decked out. Wallpaper. Eye candy. Shit, in the wood. A depiction. And, again, this is probably what it looked like everywhere, all over the world. Like that. From the old world here. Look at that. Artwork from the old world. On the left, new world. On the right, old world.
It's superior looking. It's highly advanced. Makes us look like cavemen. Look how decked out that is. That is just glorious. Eye candy. Glorious. Look at that organ. Glorious.
Look at what. God damn, why do you gotta land on me, dude? It makes no sense. Why do you gotta fucking land on me, man? Let me show you this.
Look how decked out that is. That is just glorious. Eye candy. Glorious. Look at that organ. Glorious.
Now look at that right there. This is why. Look at this. Fountain and statue, but the water is not flowing anymore. And look at all the heat damage. It's been completely obliterated.
Wow, that's glorious. Jacked. Look at that. Look at this
statues.
It looks like wrinkles in this. Look at the slide here. You could walk up the stairs.
Again, you got stairs. You walk up, or you can take a slide down. But don't wear a belt bucket. Don't wear a belt buckle because you'll scratch it.
It's here. You want to come down fast? Come down that smooth, shiny wood slide. It's beautiful, really gorgeous. Cool. Look at the woodwork.
I mean, how many houses do you see with a fucking slide down the staircase next to the stairs?
It's mind-boggling.
Now this room is built for putting out musical frequencies.
Look at this organ.
See, the organs here are enormous.
In here. Now look how that could put out some frequencies. Look at that weird arch shape. Wow. I wonder what's going on with that. That's definitely
like an amphitheater or some shit.
Going to influence some vibrations from the organ.
Frequencies.
And so that's just glorious. Eye candy. Eye candy. Look at the detail. Look at the arches here, red brick.
Arch after arch after
towers to the dome.
Heat damage.
Towers. And this depiction is just mind-boggling. It looks so real. And
folks, the links for my documentary are right below part 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Again, this is what the old world looked like everywhere. You got a statue here. You got a dome. You got a building. You have a bridge going to this building. You have a bridge going to that building and a bridge going to that building. You got towers. You got 4 towers around a dome. They're all domed. They're all arched. They're all columns. You have platforms here underneath, but yet opened to see out.
So cool.
Platform here. Another bridge here. Another bridge here. Looks like The Fifth Element, doesn't it? The movie The Fifth Element.
I tried to copy it, the old world.
And that's how they depict the futuristic world, which is really like the old world, which was a highly advanced civilization, which would be more of a future for us, hopefully one day.
To go back.
Look at the glory here, but yet look at the damage. The burns, scorch marks.
Wow. That shit is beautiful.
So let's continue our exploration of our reality and continue to examine the evidence of buildings being melted and damaged by some type of X factor event. Let's continue to look at the evidence on how the old world, highly advanced civilization was.
You can clearly see that this building here is melting over the side of this building. And when the electricity stopped, the heat stopped, the melting stopped. It re-solidified back into concrete and brick because that's what it was before.
Wiped out by some event. I like to call what you see here a pocket of survival. What you see is the top of the building is over here is coming down on this building. This building here, it's being melted by this building, and it's hot, melted lava rock that's flowing onto it.
Liquid
It's
building.
getting hot. It's eating up this building. This building's getting hot itself.
I don't care what it is. When it gets hot enough, no matter how solid it is, it'll turn to a liquid, okay?
This building is completely mangled and hot. It's just gonna be a rocky mountain is all that's left.
Everything
But
has a melting point.
thankfully, the heat stopped real fast, and we're able to see what the building looked like before it was turned into a rocky-looking mountain. So you have these mountains here, but they're really melted buildings. And again, more melted buildings. You have little pockets of survival that allow us to see that these were buildings and what they looked like before. The concrete was just dripping and forming a rock curtain, one after the other, concealing itself behind the rock curtains. So we can't tell that it was a building.
Oh, come on. It totally melted in the middle
here,
there.
the column.
Right over itself, the front of
everything,
itself.
and you can see.
I call that a rock curtain when it just melts right over its front side of itself and it conceals that it was a building.
How it has melted over itself, concealing that it was a building before all of this happened. As you notice, the vegetation likes to grow out of the old, softer sand of the liquid building.
Ash. It's ash.
Areas that were melted hot like lava before were thoroughly cooked, and it's nice and loose. For
I'm going to get you on a window. Go ahead and land on a window.
And as you can see here, the domes of these buildings completely melted like ice cream. Very nice.
Everything you're looking at is melted to shit.
These columns here, though, all the Tatarian concrete molds were jacked. And again, look how small these people are here. I mean, look how small they are. Look at the doorway. Look at the door. Look at the window. Look how big that window is. You gotta be kidding me. Look at the door in the window. And look how small he is. He's supposed to be up here. Looking out the window up there. You look out the window about right there.
Some of these buildings were clearly built for a stature of a being that was 25 feet tall. Clearly.
In the window. And then you want to walk in. Right up in here.
20.
Grab the handle.
15 to 20 feet. Or 15 to 25 feet tall.
All this liquid building is melted.
Tall.
Hot like lava. All the building has been melted, but we have a pocket.
It looked like there were so many different types of humanoid vessels and sizes and shapes that it's just wild.
Survival here.
It just made for a very flavorful environment. Like it's just wild. Just variety is, after all, variety is the spice of life.
It lets us know what it looked like, and then you could see the damage coming up the wall.
And I clearly see that there is a variety of different vessels and sizes of vessels.
From the hot melted liquid lava that was at the X Factor event. During the X Factor event, this was all hot lava. And you could see the heat damage from
And when I say lava, I mean liquid melted red brick and concrete that turned from a solid to a liquid due to heat.
The bottom, how it's mangled, the bottom column.
I'm not saying it's real lava. Lava is really just melted liquid building.
So forth.
Volcanoes are just buildings that are hot to this day from the Great Meltification event 500 years ago. They're still hot to this day, which proves that this shit is recent. It's still smoking hot to this day. This shit just happened. For fuck's sake. I only can tell you what the evidence tells me. I don't do belief. I either know or I don't know. I only know what the evidence tells me. And it tells me a story of what happened here.
Or from the heat. And then the top, you can see where it was viscous and pulling apart, separating and forming holes. And again, down here, you see what's left of what all of it used to look like. You see the tops of the buildings here. You see the melting, you see it flowing, the A-frames, and you see it completely covering itself, except for this little portion here that it, luckily for us, it didn't cover, and we can see what it looked like before. That's how we know it's buildings. There it is. That's what it used to look like.
Survival.
Again here, you have the buildings coming over itself, melting, hiding and concealing itself with rock curtains. See how you would have never known that was a building there? See the building down here getting covered. See this getting covered? It's all being covered.
See the black and orange scorch marks here? See the bottom of the building deformed from the heat? The heat deformed it. The heat, the surging the electricity created so much heat, it melted the buildings.
It melted. Not from the...
After all, everything here is electricity. Electromagnetism is light. It's a hologram. We're in the hologram of our collective imagination or mind.
Bottom here as well.
We created these experiences for ourselves.
And this is...
we are indeed still inside ourselves. When you wake up in the morning from a dream, you don't realize that you're still in the collective dream.
Pocket of survival. That's what the entire thing used to look like. That's how we know it was a building and not a mountain. And it's a heat damaged buildings. And again, you have heat damaged buildings melted at the top, forming rock curtains. It's all melted. It's incredible. Columns, arches. And again, down here, look at the arches and the columns. It was all buildings turned into sand and mud. Literally turned into sand and mud, except for some of the structure of it. It did. And then this is all up here, a pocket of survival. Excuse me. All this was melting. See how it's flooded? It's all flooded and it's melted. It's in its own liquid melted because all this was building and it's flooded. This is a building here. See how it melted out there? This was all liquid hot and got cooked and like liquid building lava. And again, look down here on the left. You have columns, you have arches, you have domes, and you have holes where it was pulling apart because it was viscous. Again, you can see the brick lines here. You can see that was all a building before it was completely heat damaged. Just incredible damage. Look at the rock curtain concealing that was a building. Again, look at the doorways, the arches. This building is completely melted and mangled and dripping and flooded in hot liquid lava. All the concrete molds are melted and mangled, scorched.
Come on!
The damage is compelling. And look at all the buildings here and the brick lines. You see brick lines after brick lines, pancaked brick lines, tops of the buildings. All that was hot liquid flowing. All the heat from the bottom is forming.
You can see all the A-frames at the bottom from the melting and the heat coming up and deforming them.
A-frames. All the heat's coming up. You could clearly see windows, arches, brick lines. All these were buildings, towers, domes. You can clearly see these are damaged buildings. And they're everywhere all over the flat plain, the world. Another pocket of survival here.
Damn it.
All the building around it is melted and has maintained this so we know what it used to look like. And again, look at the heat from the bottom.
I hate them things. Creepy ass land.
Again, what happened is...
Wow.
All this during the X Factor.
And again, it's like, I mean, look at the damage at the bottom here and the top. And we got a little pocket of survival. Somehow, part of this building survived. But all around it, it's melting. You have viscous holes. It's turning into a liquid, pulling apart from its weight. Because it'll make it flow from a solid to a liquid. It's going to flow from its weight. And, but we can still see what it used to look like here because this part of the building was unscathed for the most part.
Factor event was hot like a flowing hot liquid lava. And it got to where it was coming in. And
I don't mean to say lava there. I don't know why I'm saying that. I should be saying liquid building. Again, I was not exactly so polished as I am now. Not that I am now. But
out up on the wall here. And it would melt it. See the viscousness, how hot it was. And this is a pocket of survival. See how it was pulling apart, separating with the heat, melting. And we have a pocket of survival here. This is how we know what the whole thing used to look like before it got damaged. Again, arches, columns, and it's just completely melted all the way up the side of the building, flooded in its own liquid mess. The brick lines here. What you can see is this was all a building, but it's been melted and heat damaged. Again, this was all a building.
I gotta see that. God damn.
Again, it's been melted and heat damaged.
I mean, damn, bro. Look at that.
Again, this was all a building. It's been literally covered and submerged by the building is just covering it and submerging it. And for the most part, you would never know that was there because it would look like that. But it didn't cover itself enough. And this is how we know what it used to look like. It's
there just wasn't enough heat at the time to completely melt that building into what the retards think is a natural mountain. It didn't have enough heat to completely melt it into what the retards think is a natural mountain. There's no such thing.
It was a building.
Here you can clearly see that that's a human head on a feline body with some type of Arab hat sheet on its head and a beard. And then I can show you another building that's not melted. And it's a human head on a feline body with a sheet on his head like an Arab with a beard. There's a building. I don't have it in this one, but it's completely unmelted. And it looks just like this, except it's not melted. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. I wish I had something to smoke.
And again, I don't know what. Again, they had this building. There's a dome here. It's a dome.
They created this building to look like a being, a sphinx.
But it's like a face on like a minx, a sphinx or something. These are all brick lines. Again, this building has been turned into mud. It's just been liquefied.
Ash. It's been turned into ash.
You can see clearly the brick lines. You can see that this is in a shape of a human head and a sphinx animal body. A building made to look like a sphinx. And again, look at the domes, tower.
Again, the two buildings on the side of this thing prevented this thing from falling because the bottom of the building completely melted away. The bottom of this building completely melted away. And it's being held up by the two buildings on the side of it.
Of course, the domes and the buildings all around have melted down. And then it hardened and caught itself.
It pinned it. It got pinned in between these two buildings, man.
In between these two buildings that have been moving from the ground, moving and being viscous and melting hot from the grid meltdown. And it hardened back up and caught this self in between here and hardened again. See the melting here and it hardened again. Just incredible from the X Factor event. And again, if you can just think back to the X Factor event and you'll see all this is hot flowing like a liquid lava. It's all flooding.
It's all melted building. It's all liquid melted building. Melt flood. It's called a melt flood. It's been cooked into ash.
This is flooded. This is way taller. And again, look, watch. It overflowed into here. See, some went this way. Some went down here. This is coming around, flowing down and down this way.
The links for the documentary that we're watching are below. Part 1, 2, 3, and 4.
So, dude,
you can look at them all you want, as much as you want, for free.
Arches. This is all from the whole world. This is a pocket of survival, submerged in its liquid building that's submerged. This is all brick lines, and this is the building up here that got damaged by the X Factor event as well. And again, on the left here, you can see the damage turned the building into that like mud. And then this building here is turned into mud, and the top of it's sticking up.
Ash. Turned into
all
ash.
Flowing in hot liquid building.
It's not mud until it rained, and then the rain and the ash created the mud. That's mud. Ash and water make mud. The building ash.
All that building,
Holy
all those
shit.
buildings back there, but melted down into mud.
Look at the heat. The heat damage. It literally blew up this building like a balloon. The heat naturally expands. It's an expansion, right? Heat, it deforms and expands thing. It looks like the building got ballooned out from the heat and deformed. It's incredible evidence. It's incredible evidence of damage to a perfectly good building. It's been completely damaged by the Great Meltification event.
Yeah, look at this building. It just started expanding. As soon, excuse me, as soon as the side of this building got hot enough, as soon as it became viscous and gave way from a solid state to a liquid state, it swells out. It balloon rocks. It marshmallows. And then it hardened again.
That's right.
Separate.
That's what I used to call it. This is what I used to call marshmallowing. It marshmallows.
Forms these holes. But you can still see the brick lines of the building. People think they built on top of this and carved it on.
And again, every terminology I created, every term, rock curtain, mortar snot, A-frames, flow lines, all of them. Any asshole tells you different, they're a fucking pedophile, diarrhea, shit stain.
On a mountain.
Liar. They're a fucking liar.
This is a damaged building, okay? Turned into what you call...
Who have literally stole thousands of donations from me for my discoveries.
Mountains. Again, that was all melted building. Look at the brick lines here. Again, all mountains are melted buildings. Look at that. Look at it. That was buildings. And again, look, melted buildings. They think these are cliffs. This is a building here that got damaged by heat. See the window here? See the brick? This was all perfect red brick. It's all black and heat damage.
Look at the
There's
bottom.
The top of it.
The bottom straight up is undamaged. A pocket of survival. Look, see it? That's a building. Look, all building. Look at the window. I circled it.
With the antenna and the helmet. They had these wire.
They used to wear helmets like this and talk to each other too. Just like this, they had helmets.
Wireless looking helmets. Same with that look just like that on the buildings too. It's towers to the dome technology. Look what happened to that building there. Look at the doorway. And again, this building just completely, it just melted. It's just all completely flooded and melted in its own liquid hot mess. The top of buildings here. The reason you have gorges and gullies and gorges and all that, that's in between buildings. These are buildings here. See the A-frames, see how it's floating, melted.
See that gorge? See the gorge? It got narrowed from the melting, but that used to be a street, a wide open street in between buildings. You have streets around buildings. You have streets around buildings.
Down. See how it melted down here? Everything is hot, melted buildings, melted down by the grid.
Now
totally damaged by the X Factor event. Again, all this was buildings, and it...
Yeah, and the statue survived. Why? Because we always notice that when there's a way for the flow to melt around something, and arches are inherently cooler, too. They cool off faster. So it preserved it. It didn't get melted from this event.
Melted down over itself, forming rock curtains, and we have little pockets of survival. Nobody carved that in there. It's buildings that damaged, and it's been covered and melted up and hardened up like rock and concrete, because that's what it was. And you can clearly see.
There's no such thing as real underground bases. They're all just connected, melted buildings. I told you they were connected around the world. I told you this.
The tops of the buildings that they continue to live in, that didn't get completely damaged, like the bottom here. Pockets of survival.
Islands or continents are just melted buildings that remained above the floodwater. And when this event occurred, all the water was forced up into the air, into a gas. And as soon as the electricity stopped, it had to fall. and flood everything. And it didn't put the water back where it belongs. It covered up melted buildings. That's how we know it flooded them, because you can't melt it underwater. I mean, it's all there. Everything I say, there's not one thing that doesn't fit exactly in place of the puzzle. That's how we know. Every explanation completely makes sense, that it was all, when you look at it from the correct perspective. All building. Look at the damage here. I mean, this entire building here used to look like this area in the front that's undamaged. Like I said, all mountains. All mountains were buildings. They're melted buildings. All mountains are melted buildings. Again, look at the brick lines, how it's just sinking. You can see the fucking dome. Dome 1, Dome 2. Brick line, brick line, brick line. All these brick line, all melted to shit. Liquefied. Stairs over here on the left. Stairs. Brick lines, pancake brick lines, domes, brick lines. Brick lines, wavy brick lines. What's left? Pocket of survival of this damaged building. Pocket of survival. It's melting over itself. It's forming a rock curtain. It's melting. It's coming over itself, covering it up. But it stopped, and you can see what it all used to look like before it melted on itself. Again, same here. These are all buildings here. You have the openings, the arches, the doorways. It's all formed rock curtains and melted on itself. Pocket of survival, all melted buildings. Rock curtains melting over itself. All melted buildings. All melted buildings. Pocket of survival. Somehow this didn't melt like the rest of it. It survived. But that's how we know what it used to look like. Look at all the damage here. Look at the columns. This was all a beautiful building, and look at it now. Again, you can literally see the red brick melting into the concrete. Molds that go over the red brick. And becoming one. Brick. Look at the brick line. We're melting together the concrete and molds in the red brick that it covered. It's here. Look at the arches. Look at this is all melted buildings. Damaged by the X Factor event. And look how it came and melted. Again, so all this was liquid flowing hot. Ash. Like lava. It's liquid melted building. And it flowed around and down this. And that's how it survived. But all this flowed over that, damaging everything else. And when it densified, you get these thoroughly cooked fine grains of sand. Ash. Desert. Wow. Pockets of survival. Wow. Wow. Look at the tops. Look at the roof here. Wow. Brick roof. Concrete molds. Columns. Just shit. It's a melted building. Completely melted by the X Factor event. All red brick melted. Columns down here. It was all melted over this building. And it didn't melt all the way over the rest of itself. It just didn't melt the rest of the way. And that's how we know what it looked like. Same here. Melting over itself, and it stopped and hardened real fast for some reason. Possibly that intense lack of energy from one sun to two suns to one sun. Excuse me. Used to having two suns. And about that two sun shit, I'm a complete retard here. Too much speculation without, I don't do belief. I don't know why I said that. So now you only have one. Boom, it just freezes in midair and hardens that concrete. I normally don't speculate like that. Again, you get the buildings. It's a blunder. A-frames, and then the buildings and the towers just completely looked like they were submerged. Completely hot flowing liquid building lava, and it thoroughly cooked them into dirt and mud. To ash. Ash. Cooked to ash. And this is absolutely some of the best evidence ever, folks. You have the building melting over itself, and it just didn't melt all the way over itself here. It maintained, see the arch here? See that it's melting over itself here.
See it just completely melting. You would never know that that was a building. It's consuming itself. It's quite incredible evidence here. That was all a building, and you can literally see it melting in like a wave, like a landslide, except it's melted building and lava. I mean, melted building that flows like lava. And again, look at the heat damage here. It just explodes, and balloon rocks out, marshmallows out. When it becomes liquid, it just expands from that heat expansion, and then it hardened again. Here we go, pocket of survival. The building completely melted except for this part of it from the X Factor event. Same with that. It was all hot, lava, melted building around it, thoroughly cooked everything from the heat. But somehow a little bit of it survived because of this wall here. So kept out, and it only came up this high on the building here. Look at how it just melted over itself here, forming rock curtains. Look at the melting. It just melted the concrete. Just completely melted the concrete. Look at the heat from the bottom here. Just completely melted the brick, red brick. Completely melted it. And the heat came up from the bottom here, mangling this red brick tower. Look what it did to it. Again, they're going to be like, oh, they built on top of this rocky mountain here. How? It's clearly damaged. Look at it. It didn't build on top. It was there and it got damaged. You can see the incredible damage here. And where it's not level, most anywhere, if it's not perfectly level and flat, it's probably your unmelted liquid building that hardened back up again. Here we have some red brick here that's all been melted into liquid building. And when it cooled down, intensified, it looks like this mud and sand. Ash! But it was all liquid building.
Temperature dictates states of matter. High temperature will turn a solid into a liquid and eventually into a gas. Cold temperature will turn a gas into a liquid and a liquid into a solid piece of ice. Take water, for example. If you boil the water, it will evaporate into a vaporous gas. If you take the same water and place it in a freezer where it's cold, take away the energy, it's cold, it will turn into a solid. Therefore, proving that temperature dictates not just water, but everything's state of matter, whether it's a solid, liquid, or gas. Plasma. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. That could have been like
there's a melt flood right there. See it melt flooded. All the buildings melted and flooded everything. See, the building was turned into liquid building from a solid into a liquid, and it melt flooded. Hence, Melt Flood Chicago. Shout out to Melt Flood Chicago, and a bless you and a thank you, sir, and everybody who's donated. Thank you, and thank you for your help in the past. And then when it rains, this ash will create a mud flood. But mud floods are a result of melted buildings. The only mud floods you'll get is like storms and rains and earthquakes and landslides from after the fact, right? From after the fact. It wasn't a cause of anything. You're not on a ball. There was no mud to flow until the buildings melted, you stupid fucking retards.
Water flow there, but who knows? But here, look at this. Check.
Again, we're living on melted buildings.
Got what it did. Again, more evidence of how it turns these buildings.
The ground below you is melted buildings. The ground. Everything here is electrical. ground. I mean, I was an electrician in the Navy, so I never again volunteer yourself. It's all liquid building. It turns the building into that like a mud. It looks like a mud flood, but it's not. It's the entire building is submerged in liquid building. Up this high. Look at this submerged. Look at the damage at the bottom, cooked into ash. Look at the crane. The building underneath. Look at that dipshit. It cooked itself. Dipshit. Stanky bitch. Look at the red brick there. Again, if it's not level, other buildings around it got melted. And not always, because they did ramp up roads around buildings to go higher. That is evident too. Hot and flowed around these other buildings. At the time, that is the case. It melt flooded around the building. I'm right. He's right, you know. There you go. What it looks like. Liquid melted building flooding into the building here. See how the liquid, it's not a mud flood, it's a melt flood. The liquid hot melted building flooded around and in other buildings. It's called evidence. It's called use your little pea brains besides something to keep your ears apart. It looks like a mud flood, but it's these buildings that literally melt and then they start to flow. It's a melt flood, hence melt flood Chicago. Around and flood other buildings. You see it over and over again. Buildings getting melted and flooding on other buildings or themselves around themselves. And look how it cooks it from the heat. Look how it cooks, literally cooks it. Here you go. More evidence of a liquid melt flood. Just like the statues, when you dig up the statues, they're half buried, just like this is half buried. It's buried by liquid melted building. It's called evidence. You just have to understand what you're looking at. And I remember dumbass Joe Rogan talking about the statues and stupid ass Graham Hancock, who's absolutely dumber than dog shit off the ground, talking about it. And he was trying to explain away this shit. He's so dumb, dude. I am the only one that can tell you exactly what really happened. And the liquid melted building flowed around, burying everything below. That's why you can dig up everything and find things. That's why there's archaeologists everywhere digging up shit. You're finding things that got covered up by a truly genuine, legitimate melt flood. Hot liquid melted building that it was submerged. Not a mud flood, a melt flood. Merged in. Looks like a mud flood now, but it was all melted liquid building. Flowing. Look at that. Flowing in between buildings. Liquid building. Flowing. Submerging and flooding. Buildings everywhere. And then it covering up everything in sight and hiding it from you into obscurity. Cools off and densifies. And you get this. Looks like a mud flood. And then we have all this evidence of all the people coming and finding this shit and having to clean up and make it usable again. You see, I've been working on the railroad. No, they were digging up the railroad that was already there. Sure, they added tracks. Okay, big deal. Look, horses. Using horses. All that was dug up. All those tracks. See the dirt? See these things here? They're digging up the dirt and taking it away and cleaning up the mess. Evidence of people finding the mess, the damage, the ruins, because they have been ruined. So they call them ruins. It's in the fucking words. Here they are cleaning up the mess, digging all the shit up so they can reuse these goddamn buildings and the infrastructure of the old world again. It's called evidence, and the pea brains just don't understand what they're looking at. Again, look, all the weakies, just call them weak. They're weak-minded. They're little tiny pea brains, the weakies. Good melted building. That's what Bobby Fischer used to call them. They're taking it away to clean up the flood. That's why you're able to dig up all this shit from the old world, because it got covered up and melt flooded. Of the liquid melted building mess. Here's a building. See the heat damage? It discolored the red brick here. You can see how this all melt flooded around this building. That's not natural. That was not meant to be built like that. Because look at the discoloration here in the red brick. It cooked that color out and charred it and melt flooded around it. It's all there. It's all there. It's all, man, when these retards realize how right I am, they're going to fucking hate. They're going to hate me even more. They already disdain and hate me already because they hate that I was smarter than them. They hate it.
Flooded on this side here. Came down this way. It scorched the color out of the.
Just because they don't like the way my vessel looks or the way I whatever, because I may seem a little cocky because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I put my goddamn time in. I should be cocky.
Red brick here. Oh my, look at.
While you fuckers were out playing, I was fucking doing hard research. So yeah.
That liquid building flowing. And again, the building is turned into
everywhere.
what looks like a mudflood, but this
Look,
is all
it's all evidence of melting.
Buildings. Look at the brick lines. Look at the A-frames from the melting.
Oh, look at all that melt.
All melted.
All melted.
And then
all
flooded
damaged
by itself. And again, let's really take a good gander here. What you see here is it's being flooded here by this hot liquid melted building all the way around. It's kind of being flooded a little bit. But then on top, it's melting down from the top into what looks like mud. But they're calling this a mud flood. Like, how'd the mud jump to the top? No, the top of the building's melted and it's turned.
So what's up, Fervent Heat? I guess it's good to have you here. But yeah, I'm not going to sit there and get called names by a bunch of retards, bro, who literally Karens. But yeah, it is what it is. Should I have done different? Probably. Who cares? It is what it is. It doesn't mean I didn't discover the shit, right? But it's good to have somebody who was dogging me back, I guess.
Turned in to what looks like mud. See the brick lines and the arches and the windows and door openings.
But I got no hard feelings towards everybody. I'm over it, man. I'm too mature and whatnot to hold a grudge. I forgive, and you know, I do. I move forward. I don't hold a grudge. That's stupid. Again, that's like drinking poison and expecting somebody else to feel it. I don't even think about it.
This is all building, brick lines, turned into mud by the X Factor event.
Like, what happened to Valdez? Where'd he go? He used to come here.
Again, check out this building here. What's left of it at the top?
Not
it
here.
Didn't get turned into mud.
Where they
But
all
it was
at?
all hot liquid building, lava, and it thoroughly cooked the building, and it cooked it into this. When it densified real fast, it wasn't cooked in enough into rock, and it was still moist, and it looks like mud. There it is. Look, melting from the top as well. It's not mud. Mud flood didn't miraculously fly up to the top of the building here.
It's again, a mud flood would flow around the bottom, just like, you know,
melted buildings that looks like mud now. Look, again, look at this building. This is a building damaged and melted. Look at the melting coming down around it. You can see it, what it used to look like before it got melted and turned into this mud.
It's not mud.
It got turned into this.
Ash.
This was
rock.
a gorgeous building.
It got turned into rock. You know.
Look at the dome.
People think that's natural rock. It's mutilated concrete and brick. Now this building here, now this is what I'm talking about. This building here got so hot and melted and cooked that it completely turned from a solid into a liquid, yet you can still see the square shapes and form of the rooms of the building, and even stairs. Bam. Yeah, I should have done a lot of things different, man. It is what it is. I'm not perfect, man. I never said I was. I'm just the messenger.
this one. Again, this building is literally
a lot of things wrong. I got pissed off. It is what it is.
Turned into mush and mud. It's nothing left but sand, mud, and mush. But this was a building. This is absolutely a building. Liquefied. Look, this is a building completely liquefied.
Epic, dude. Epic evidence.
As you can see, it's melting out.
Yes.
This way.
Wow.
But this building, you can still see it before it melted it and cooked it into this mush. Right now, it's literally cooking any solids. It's cooking them into a liquid right now at this point, and then until it dense.
And again, it's high time that all you people that dissed me start coming back. And we get back together. It's high time. I'm not going to block anybody anymore. That's over. And you're all welcome back. Just don't be calling me a bunch of names and shit.
So if I didn't stop real fast so we could see this.
Look at that
red brick getting melted and flowing.
Wow.
You got all this was hot.
Wow.
Buildings, look. Look at the buildings turned into mud and dirt, sand.
I wish
because it was all liquid hot. Look at the brick.
I cringe every time I hear mud, dude. It's ash. I mean to say ash. I was not polished at all here.
Look here. Look what it did to the brick. That was all red brick. That was all red brick. You can see the brick.
Yeah.
It cooked it into mud and dirt.
Ash.
Because all that was all hot like lava.
Liquid melted building. Not lava.
Again, you can see it melted and flowing. Look, it's all melted.
A-frames and flow lines are evidence of melting.
It's a melted mush. Everything is melted building. Excuse me. So here, you completely see damage all the way up.
See all these squares here? All those squares that you see here were like small buildings and shit. Like they got all covered up by the melt flood and cooked. And you can still see the shape and form of them. The squares, you can still see all this shit.
In this pyramid, you see a liquid building melted all the way around it, completely hot. And liquid melted building. Looks like a mud flood. You can see the buildings here, how they have been overrun, flowing down, forming these rock curtains over the building behind it. You can still see some of the building, but either way, it melted it all. All the buildings have been completely melted out by the heat. And that flowing.
Again, fervent heat. You can tell all your crew there, my original Eagle Eye crew, that they're all welcome back. I mean, it's fine. I don't hold a grudge. That's childlike. That is so childlike.
Liquid building, all flowing outward.
Just don't be criticizing me and shit.
Being melted.
Unconstructively. I like constructive criticism.
All building being melted, liquefied.
Windows, columns.
Dustified.
Brick lines.
Look at the arches, brick lines, columns.
And again, Jen did a really good job on her little parts there. Very good. It's too bad she went batshit.
This is what happened to a lot of the buildings. It's not a mudslide. These buildings have been turned into this rock and mud and
now you really can tell that every one of those was red brick. You can really, I've seen those that aren't damaged, and wow, they are cool looking, man. And look at that.
And these
look, let's preserve it. See the sign here? Look, let's preserve a melted building. Gaga goo goo, drool. Don't touch it. Boo boo goo goo. Like geologists and archaeologists, they're all mentally ill.
We're buildings. Look at it. Look at the brick here. It was all red brick. It's been melted, submerged in hot liquid building. Look at the flow. Look at the flow. Look at the damage to the buildings.
Folks, my documentary is extensive. It's about 8 hours long, and we're on the third hour here. Apart from the beginning there, I showed a video, but yeah, I mean, it's It's a long, extensive documentary. It's thorough. I had to be thorough. I had to make my point. Okay, I had to argue with people that were calling these things tree stumps and petrified titans and giants and shit. I was one of them until I did all the home inspections and research and connected the dots and put it together. I was one of the tree stump tards. You know what I mean? Calling these, I knew there was something, right? I mean, shit, we were barking up the right tree at least, right? But anyway, you're all welcome back. It's good to have you, Fervent Heat. It's actually a pleasure to have you. Tell everybody they're welcome back, man. No hard feelings, man. It's all good. We got to forgive each other. I fucked up. Everybody fucks up. We all fucked up. It's all good. But I'm gonna bail here. It's been 3 hours. I know we're watching shit, but I can't help but try to comment in my voice. I'm gonna make it worse, and I won't be able to do a live stream again. So I gotta let my voice heal because I just keep talking. I won't let my shit heal. So please like, share, subscribe. Much love. I love you all, and have a blessed day. And I'll probably see you on Friday at 12 and Sunday at 12. If my voice permits, it should, hopefully. We'll watch more of the doc maybe, and then I won't have to talk so much, but I always like to. So y'all have a blessed day. Thanks. Take care.